It's funny that you say that there's a lot of bad information out there with all the books available and stuff. I just recently published on my blog a post where I go on social media. I'm a big fan of social media and YouTube, Instagram, all those platforms. But I think there's too much bad information. Like nowadays, everybody can call themselves a teacher and a drum instructor. They can have a great video that looks great. They can have language that sounds smart. The audio can be great, but let's say they show you a certain technique and you just know it's completely upside down. Like if you and most of those videos are their target audience is the beginner drummer. It's not the experienced professional drummer, right?
Yes,
So and
totally.
now as a beginner drummer, you watch those videos and you start just developing very very bad technique or very narrow-minded views on music, and I don't know how you tune a bass drum. Let's say there's so many videos on how to tune a bass drum, and they show you how to do it, and they even call it the one way to tune your bass drum or something. And you're just stuck then for until you like actually go out and challenge yourself and your beliefs. You're just stuck with that one way of tuning your bass drum, right? I think that's
I totally agree.
the more
I mean, what's
it's
yes,
not it's not necessarily healthy to have this much access to this much information.
it's definitely completely unhealthy. And of course, what young players cannot really understand is that music, a lot of times, most of the times at least, is played in a band, in a room that usually has nothing to do with those studios where all these drummers do their videos.
Yeah.
And the thing that strikes me most is that a lot of these guys, you never see them playing in a band. When they do their videos, they usually play to the click track, which is very strange for me. I mean, I have nothing against the metronome. The metronome is a great tool to practice. But if you play some exercises and you record them and you put them out for the public and you do it with a click track, it's just so weird. And so those situations have nothing to do with playing music, and it's just it's a different thing, which I mean, yeah, it's okay, you know. I mean, everybody can do whatever they want, and somehow in the drumming community, I mean, the drumming community or this whole drummer world became kind of a lifestyle almost, you know. This only exists with guitar players and drummers, I guess. I mean, also we have all these endorsements. It's really a business. There is magazines in every country, or these drummer magazines. I mean, you don't find a violin magazine or you know whatever. It's because drums are very attractive also to watch. You know, it's kind of a circus. And this is also great. I love this, you know. I mean, I have my circus parts on concerts where I do things and people are like, wow, and they ride like Halbheer with his 3 legs and 4 arms and I don't know what and stuff. That's okay. Just a small dose, you know. It's like feeding people. I mean, if you just feed them sugar all the time, I mean, they become sick, and that's what happens with these videos. They just feed them sugar, or sausage, or I don't know what. And if you just eat this, I mean, of course, you become sick after a while. And that's the only problem.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really, really happy that I got stuck with drums, partly because the drumming community is so great, and it's in musical terms, like within the instruments, it's by far the biggest community, right? Like
for sure.
With
and
all these
great.
events, there are just happening with drummers only, right? That's really amazing. But I also in that same blog post I made about social media, I'm telling my readers to be more outspoken and more vocal when they see bad information. You know, like let's say on YouTube you see a video that's just just bad. You just know if a beginner drummer starts to practice like this or starts holding the sticks this way, I say we don't have to be nice anymore. Like, I mean, be correct, and your comment should be about the subject and about how you hold a stick, but we have to be outspoken. We can't just accept every opinion out there, right? I think
I totally agree. Yes.
When we accept opinions that are just not valid, then it can be potentially harmful, right? Especially for beginner drummers.
Well, I mean, my experience, and this is sometimes, or not sometimes, it's usually really frustrating, more for the students than for me, because once you guys get to the school, you come with all these techniques that first we just have to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And with a lot of stuff, we kind of have to start all over again.
Yeah.
And most of you guys practiced and studied for 10 years or even more when you finally get to our school. And the first year we basically spent to change things, to get rid of bad habits and really start to get the good habits. Fortunately, usually all of you understand why, and it's never really a question. But this comes from all these misleading informations. It's not only technique, but the technical stuff, of course, is the most frustrating, because it's the one that takes the most time to change.